This is 4 pounds of ground beef from Whole Foods. I like to buy their brand whenever it's possible. It's $5.49 a pound. So not really expensive, but not cheap either, right in the middle. This one is 85% lean. I generally go with the 90 or 93%, but since I was making chili and meatballs, I just decided to use something that wasn't quite as lean, really for the flavor profile. Now what I'll do with this is I will take off a chunk of it for the chili. I need about 1 pound. Maybe I'll use a little more for the chili, pound, pound and a half. And then I will use the rest to make a double batch of Grandma's meatballs. Here I've added the ground beef to the onions and the olive oil that were already in the pan. I like to get the onions fairly translucent. And then once they are cooked for a while, maybe 8 to 10 minutes, then I add in the beef. And what I will do now is continue to stir this and mix the beef up so it kind of turns into more like crumbles versus chunks. Okay, this is the ground beef. Almost done, but not quite. You want to cook it until the pink is out of it. Or at least that's how I like to have my ground beef cooked, really cooked all the way through. One thing I have to do here, because in this recipe I used 85% lean, I will need to drain the fat off of this. There's a couple ways to do that. You could use a strainer over the top. That's a little bit hard with the hot pan, so I find the best technique is to put the lid on the pot, and then I'll drain it over the sink with just leaving a little room for the grease to come out. What you see here is I've drained the grease off. And what I've done is added the spices and the tomato paste. I like to add the spices at this point so the meat really gets flavorful with the spices, and same with the tomato paste. So I will stir this really well and brown it for a bit. Once it's cooked a little bit, that's when I will add the rest of the ingredients. Here's the pot now. I have added the tomatoes, the kidney beans. I've also added some water. I like to add water to mine. I like it a little bit soupy, although I will be simmering this for quite a while, at least an hour, if not longer, and that will actually, some of the liquid will evaporate.